Hello there, and welcome to this week's Sunday Chaos Skirmish. I mean, Sunday Community Skirmish, because I can't read English. Welcome to this week's Sunday Community Skirmish. This is the 229th Community Sunday Skirmish. I will be your caster and streamer today. My name is Sander, and welcome. We have 2.5 minutes until lockdown. We have now the red team, Aerial R&D, and blue team, the Pomelos. As it is looking now, we have a Pyramidion, which we saw in the Crucible yesterday actually, piloted by Tears Our Fuel. We have a Squid, it seems, piloted by Igthrill, and two Mobulas, the Reborn and the Skyborn. This will be an interesting match for sure. Soaring Booger, if I remember correctly, was a Metamidian, and it appears that they haven't changed their loadout since the Crucible yesterday, actually. So that's interesting. We have 1.5 minutes until lockdown. So until the match starts, we will be doing a deathmatch at Clash at Backcliff. If the challenge is correct, we have 3 matches for today, 2 matches each. 1 minute until lockdown. It appears that the blue team has changed both their ships into a Squid and a Crusader. The 3 captains for today will be Tears Our Fuel and Igthrill for the red team, and Sundstrom and Hellfire for the blue team. Oh, we have a lot of changes going on. We have the rest of the crewmates falling in as well. We now have a Pyramidion Crusader versus the Squid and Crusader, so we will have Crusader action. And if I remember correctly, Tears Our Fuel pilots a pretty strict ramming policy with his Pyramidion. And as we all know, he loves ramming Crusaders, so I'm expecting to see lots of good rams there, Tears Our Fuel. And there is the lock, so now there will be no changes to either loadouts or ships. And that gives us time to see, to take a look at the ships themselves, unless the match will start before I get to that. The match is starting. So that just means that, that just means that I will have to that means I will have to take out to shout out the loadouts of the ships. And there we are in the game. So for the first ship, we have a Metamidion with a... Oh no! Yeah, sorry, we do. We have a regular Gatling and mortar at front, with a Banshee on the side and a Hades on the back. We have the... the name, Soaring Booger, is the Pyramidion. Piloted by... Tears Our Fuel. And next we have the Crusader, Legitimate Business, piloted by Igthrill. It is a duo nemesis with 2 Gats and flare guns, so it's a mirrored Crusader there. We have the Squigtaw, piloted by Sundstrom. It is a Artemis, Gatling gun, and mortar Squid. The next one we have Identify, piloted by Hellfire. It is it is not a completely mirrored It's not a completely mirrored Crusader this time. It is, however, a duo Nemesis heavy carronade and mirrored Gatling guns and an Artemis and a flare gun in the middle. And it's best that the Squicto has already gone into the action by pushing in on legitimate business and Soaring Booga. Going in with a Squid against a Crusader and a Pyramidion is brave, yes, although it shouldn't be that much of a problem as the Squid is a pretty nimble ship. But going up against these two that both have good disabling power, it is obviously quite dangerous. And the balloon of the Squid is down as well, the hull getting hammered. If the Soaring Booger gets that ram, this is not looking good for the Squicto. Legitimate business and Identify, however, the Identify just got, well, the ram that he attempted came to bite him in the ass. He tried to ram the legitimate business, but instead was the one who was killed by it. Not good. The Crusader surely is a powerful ship, but it seems to be pretty fragile, even though it looks quite strong. A so-called glass cannon. The Squicto doing good evasion there, but if Identify, even though spotted, if he is able to get a good kill on the Soaring Booger while he is still so far behind, this might go well for the blue team. Identify getting hammered and Soaring Booger really going in there, attempting a ram but does not succeed. It appears that we are taking this to the skies, pun intended, and just gaining a lot of altitude. I am really looking forward to seeing the rams of the Soaring Booger. If the Soaring, yeah, it appears that he is going for the ram against the Crusader, and there it is. I love those fireworks. Good addition. So now it's just a plain old Gatling battle between a Squid and a Pyramidion. Squid just loses a lot of altitude, baiting the Pyramidion down, and then the Squid takes off. Really taking advantage of the nimbleness of the Squid in comparison to the Pyramidion here. Identify now joining in on the action, going after the Pyramidion. Pyramidion has hull broken and the Nemesis... Oh, man, I have a bias against the Nemesis. I just don't like that gun. It's a really good gun, and after the nerf that happened a while ago, it was obviously better, but it's one of those guns that I struggle to counter myself personally. So it's mostly me to blame for being bad when not being able to handle the Nemesis. We have a good... Ooh, whatever legitimate business is doing here, it appears that he is just hiding. Well... Oh, no, it appears that he is trying to engage the Crusader. And... doing... Ooh, that was a slick ram. Beautiful kill. So we have the Pyramidion almost dead, losing a lot of perma there, but still manages to keep their armor alive. And balloons on fire, and a bit of a broken nose there, but still holding up pretty good. The Squid, however, still awaiting most shots. Legitimate business is using them Nemesis. Squid doing an excellent job in evading the Pyramidion. Will the Pyramidion go down now? It has survived a lot, but now with fire from the Nemesis, from the Identify, and the Gats from the Squictor will surely take down the hull. And there it goes down. So now we have the Identify and the Squictor ganging up on the Legitimate Business, taking this again to the skies, pun intended, by gaining a lot of altitude. Legitimate Business with the hull on fire, and there it goes down again. It appears that blue team has well, obviously both teams have a good amount of communication. But the Squictor's evasiveness, I guess, the Squictor's ability to just get out of the battle instantly because of the nimbleness of the squid really helps blue team right now. Where both ships on the red team aren't really that nimble in themselves. The Pyramidion might be smaller than the Crusader, but is more of a slower, bulkier ship. But it still doesn't have that much maneuverability compared to the Squid, at least. Both ships are front heavy mainly. They mainly have their guns at the front, making them really vulnerable from other angles that the Squid can easily get into because of its maneuverability. Squictor getting heavy Gatling fire on the Legitimate Business, with the Legitimate Business trying to lose altitude as much as possible. And there it goes. There it goes. The blue team wins. Congratulations to Pomelos. Now, for the next match, we will have that's a longer team name. The Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan. So Legio, oh god. Legio Lepidoptera. Oh no. This is probably not that hard to say. I'm just really struggling with saying this name right now. Legio Lepidoptera Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan. Yeah, okay, so on red side we will now have the Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan against Aerial R&D. Aerial R&D now switching from being the red side to now being the blue side. It appears that we will have a quick game restart. Sorry, I mean that X-Thrill will have a quick game restart. And there the timer is starting. Getting real excited. We have 2.5 minutes until lockdown, and we're having small changes. It appears that the storing bugger is still going strong with a Pyramidion. So Tears off fuel, credits to you for that. Egg is still going with the Crusader, I think, unless obviously there's changes that will be happening later on in the lobby. We still have 2 minutes, so but on the red side we have 2 new captains, Captain Screwbeard and Mervyn, or Mervyn, depending on where she's from, or he or she, or yeah. So 1.5 minutes until lockdown. One minute until lockdown. Oh, that's a voice crack and a half. It appears that we will have a Mobula and a Judgment flying for the red side. Legitimate Business still hasn't changed anything about their loadout. Well, or maybe they have. Yeah, they have been changing the loadout. So on the middle deck, it appears that they have 2 flare guns, while on the top they have an Artemis and a Gatling gun. That's gonna be interesting seeing. The Mobula having an Artemis, a Mercury, a flak cannon, the Gatling gun, and an Artemis. So they have 2 Artemises, yeah. The Judgment. Oh, the lock is now active. The Judgment doing a Lumberjack, a Hwacha, Hades, Banshee, and a Barking Dog Light Carronade. Definitely going to be interesting. So the Mobula obviously being semi to long range, well, mostly long range. Oh, we are now heading into the match. So I will be doing ship callouts at the start of this round as well, even though I basically looked at all of the loadouts. So for the first ship, flying for the LLL, we have the Bamboozled Moth, piloted by Mervyn. The Bamboozled Moth is a Judgment with a Lumberjack, Banshee, Hades, Manticore, Hwacha, and a Light Carronade. The second ship will be the GFA Flying Flounder, a Mobula piloted by Captain Screwbeard. It is a long-range Mobula using 2 Artemises, a Gatling gun, a light flak cannon, and a Mercury. The third ship is the good old soaring Bugha. It is a Metamedian with a mortar, Gatling gun, Hades, and a Banshee. The fourth ship of tonight's or this match is a almost mirrored Crusader with 2 Nemesis heavy carronades at the front. On the top deck we have a Gatling gun and an Artemis rocket launcher, and on the middle deck we have 2 beacon flare guns. The red team has spotted the Soaring Bugha, but I'm not sure if they can see the Crusader sneaking around. If the Crusader is able to sneak up on these ships while the Soaring Bugha is taking fire and attention, we might be seeing some really interesting plays here. So definitely... Oh, now the Crusader has been spotted, with both the Mobula and Judgment doing heavy fire on it. Hull armor down, balloon is almost down, and the perma-hull going down really fast, and there it goes. Completely ruined. Just gonna take the sound on the game down a bit. Soaring Bugha now taking a lot of fire from both ships. With these ships being long range for the most part, this is... And especially since the Soaring Bugha is a Metamedian, that means it has to get up real close and personal with the mortar. This is not an optimal setup for blue team with both ships, at least... Well, since the Flying Flounder really outranges the Crusader. The Crusader has the Nemesis, yes, but the Nemesis also has a bit more, it has a bit lower range than the Mercury and the Artemis. It has 1 Artemis, I know that, but I don't know if that'll be enough for taking down both the Judgment and the Mobula. Crusader spotted, and the blue team are just hanging out. Just creeping up behind the mountain ridge. People jumping off and having fun. Yep. What is the Crusader doing? Is this some next level meta plays? The question is, will red team realize that blue team is... I think actually the Crusader is thinking about going around the whole mountain, and I actually didn't know that this was possible. So I learned something new today. I had no idea that this was possible. Thing is, the Pyramidian might have ruined it for the blue team now by being spotted. It is not spotted anymore though, but it was definitely spotted, so the red team knows that they are not moving in on their position through the regular route. Oh, this is an interesting setup for sure. The silence. Everything just went so silent. Wow. So it baffled me that it went from war drums to just complete and utter silence, broken by my almost functioning English. Crusader stopping, probably waiting for his teammate. Pyramidion just trying to get into the action. Well, they're sneaking up. None has been spotted yet. So it's gonna be interesting, but yeah, so the red team has been spotted. And now the blue team has been spotted as well. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting for sure. And the Crusader goes down. The Soaring Booger now just... None of his guns are in the correct position, and there goes the Hwacha. So the ship is almost completely disabled. Balloon is... okay. Well, it's not disabled anymore, at least. It's not functioning, but it's not disabled. You gotta see the positive things in life. Gotta stay strong though. I apologize for the out-tabbing in the middle there during the engagement, but I had to fix something concerning the sound of the stream. So I apologize for that. But I don't think I will have any more disturbances in that way, I think. Oh. The Mobula being spotted, and now the Crusader being spotted. So blue team does not really have any advantage here, except... No, I don't really see any advantages, because they will just be shot down from a distance. Right now, the Crusader had his balloon destroyed, his hull on fire, and now the Soaring Booger. If the Soaring Booger is able to get a good ram in on the flounder, they might have a chance, but because of the altitude controls of the Mobula, that is highly unlikely. Like now, he did get a small bump, but it was not enough. Sadly, and also thankfully, the victory goes to LLL. Or not sadly, let's just celebrate. Because I am a neutral source. I don't take sides. I am just the commentator. So I will be changing the team names back. So just give me, or rather not back, but to the next ones. there we are, the last match for today. We now have the Pomelos against the Triple L, which I will practice the team name, which is obviously and easily enough Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan. Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan. Okay, it's when you first get the hang of it, it's not that hard. It's not that bad. So we have on the red side the Pomelos, and on the blue side oh god. On the red side we have the Pomelos. On the blue side we have Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan. How nice. On the red side, with the squid, we have Sunstrom, the captain. And on the Crusader, Identify, we have the other captain, Hellfire. On the blue side, we have Mervyn, the captain of the squid, the fairy moth. Oh, the fairy moth. And on the other captain spot on the blue theme, we have Captain Scrowbird, piloting a Sniper Mobula. Yes, it is still a Sniper Mobula. Surely an interesting match. The Squigtaw going with an Artemis at the front, so for a bit of range, and a Mortar for a close range takedowns, with a Gatling on this side. Obviously a good... Oh, it's actually a Junker. The Roshkov. Roshkov. The Roshkov. The Roshkov, yeah. With... it being... semi-long range? Semi-long range to long range. Okay, it does actually have a lot of long range. So it has an Artemis... it has a long range side and a short range side. It has a Flak and Gatling on the right side with an Artemis on the front, with an Artemis and a Hades on the left side. Now, I don't use the Hades a lot, so I'm not completely sure exactly how it works. So I can't say anything against that, other than that the in-game description says that it's good against the balloon hull and armor. And I know that it does a lot of damage to things like, well, you know, balloon hull and armor. It appears that Hellfire has gone with the squid this time, doing a mainly almost completely short range squid with a Barking Dog Light Carronade, a Gatling, and a Banshee. So they're using it mainly for disables, it looks like, disabling balloons, guns, and engines with the Barking. And then using the Banshee for taking out the balloons, while also taking down the hull armor and other components using the Gatling gun. I personally like the Gatling gun as a disabling gun. I have a gunner that's doing a lot of things on my personal Crusader. Oh, so there is one more match after this one. Thanks for that one. Thanks for the heads up, Richard. But yeah, I have had a lot of good experiences with the Gatling as a disabling gun, being able to disable things like watches while my own watches were reloading. So mainly a disabling ship, I think the squid is meant to be. We have the other squid as well. It appears to be mostly long range because of the Mercury, while also having the Gatling gun on the side and the Banshee on the back. The Banshee is also pretty good at taking out the permahull. So they have a longer range firing mechanism on the back and being able to take things down from really big distances with the Mercury if they are able to align themselves correctly. But since they are a squid, they can easily get out of combat and get into a position where it's not as easy for them to get hit unless the opposing team has sniping capabilities. So that's good. The Junker on the blue team is also... Okay, so it appears to be a lot of longer range plays, except for the Squid, which is mainly a shorter range disabling. Oh, both... Oh. So we have 3 Squids in the match right now, with only 30 seconds until match start. So the Dance of Death, which was the disabling one, and the Swikta, back again with a... Is that the exact same? Yeah, it is the exact same loadout against... Well, it will be an interesting match, to say the least. We are starting the match shortly, unless there is something else happening. Oh, we are starting the match. How interesting. And we are in the match. Beautiful. So for the first ship, we have the Swikta, which is a... I just had a brain fart. Okay, the Swikta, which is a Gatling gun, Banshee, and Barking Dog Light Carronade. Let me just... No, I don't think I need to change the sounds anymore. Okay, so we have the Swikta, piloted by Sundstrom. It is a Gatling gun, Banshee, and light carronade squid, mostly used for disabling, I think. We have the Dance of Death, which is the exact same thing, a Gatling gun, Banshee, and Barking Dog light carronade squid, piloted by Hellfire. The third ship, the Fairy Moth, is a, I think, sniping squid. Yeah, it has a Mercury field gun, a Gatling gun, and a Banshee at the back. It is piloted by Mervyn. And for the fourth ship, it's the GFA Salvager. It's a Junker piloted by Captain Scrowbeard. It has two Banshees, 2 Gatling guns, and an Artemis rocket launcher at the front. So it's a mirrored Junker. Surely interesting. Now we can see the Swikta trying to get into range without, or at least trying to hide from the sniping capabilities of both the Fairy Moth and the Salvager. The Fairy Moth being a Mercury ship and the Salvager having the Artemis makes for a dangerous combination. The Fairy Moth moving in, or actually both of the blue team members are moving in, with the Swikta underneath and the Dance of Death doing something. Let's see what he's doing. He's doing his best. The Fairy Moth, the GFA Salvager, and the Swikta are doing some pretty heavy combat, with the Dance of Death now engaging and helping out his ally. Although the Dance of Death is getting hammered from both blue ships and is destroyed. The Ferry Moth, even though it has a Mercury gun, it still has pretty good takedown capabilities with the back of the ship, being a Banshee and Gatling gun. Squicta now taking heavy damage from both the Banshee and Gatling gun from the Ferry Moth, and now getting shot by the Junker as well. This is not looking good for the Squicta. Oh, barely able to get his hull armor up before his permahull is destroyed. Although he's taking a lot of fire, and there it goes. The Squicta goes down. Blue team barely taking any damage, although the Ferry Moth has lost a tiny bit, maybe a fifth of his permahull. But both blue ships are still going strong, with the Salvager completely unharmed. Now I'm curious as to what the red team is doing right now, as the Squicta has respawned on the completely opposite side of his teammate, while the Dance of Death is trying to engage in a more direct line. Both ships right now are moving in on the blue team from different sides. So this will be interesting for sure. Squicta being in the middle of the, or not in the middle, but is being shot at by both blue ships. Dance of Death still being unnoticed, although, yeah, it does appear that it's still unnoticed. I'm not sure though, the Ferry Moth might have seen them. If not, creds to you. Okay, there it is noticed. Hellfire did do a good job of stealthing up, making sure that the blue ships couldn't snipe him down from a distance. Squicta, however, being in the middle of both ships. Oh, will the Ferry Moth go down? It does not appear so. The Ferry Moth is able to get his hull armor up and running again, while the Squicta is taking heavy damage. He's lost. Oh, yep, there he goes. Down. Dance of Death now being the primary target of both blue ships, with literally no one else to target. Dance of Death is now taking, oh, hull armor down and permahull halfway down. This will probably be the end of Dance of Death. I do not see, oh, there we got a Goomba Stomp by the Ferry Moth. And the Dance of Death is, yeah, okay, there we went. Being rammed by a squid, even though you are another squid, that's not good. Ferry Moth still hanging on to that tiny bit of life he still has on his permahull. It's surely an interesting match. The sniping capabilities of that squid is really devastating, since even though it's a sniper ship, even though when you get in close, he still has that good takedown force from behind and the maneuverability of the squid. So even though you get in close range, he still has a really good chance of taking you down either way, because you mostly have the same guns, even though they are short-range ships, both the Squicta and Dance of Death, for the most part. Oh, we got some leaps up here. Dance of Death trying to outmaneuver the Junker. Squicta going after the Ferry Moth. If the Squicta is able to get this kill, this might be a turning point for the red team. Although we know nothing for sure. The Dance of Death has got his hull armor down. If he doesn't get that up soon, and the Junker gets the kill, they have lost. Ferry Moth is somehow still surviving. They haven't lost, I don't think they have lost, at least not, they've barely lost any permahull. Dance of Death is now going down at the hands of the Junker, but just barely manages to get their hull armor up again before they are shot down. Ferry Moth now joining in on the action, realizing that he should help out his teammate to just secure a kill as soon as possible. so that he doesn't die himself. And there it goes. Dance of Death goes down by the hands of the Junker. And blue team secures a victory. So that was another win for the Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan, which I now have practiced the name of. The Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan. I got you now. You can't overman me with your long words and your Latin English, your English pronunciations of Latin words. I got you now. So yeah, I will be right back after I know which teams will be playing next round, as there will be a last final match. So it looks like there might not be a final match, but you never know. Richard is asking if they want a new, or at least a last match. It's hard to say right now what will happen. It does look like there will be a last match. So is it the same teams? Oh god, I didn't pay attention. Oh no. Oh no. So the ones who won was the team with the fairy mouth, which was the Leviathans, right? Yeah, it was. Okay. And the thing that was the Pomelos. If not, what you gonna do? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Richard. Yeah. That looks all good. We have 2.5 minutes until lockdown. Two minutes until lockdown. naturally and interesting. So it looks like we have judgments going back into the... So it looks like we have the sniper loadouts, or the sniper ships, at least. Is the lumberjack a sniper gun? Yeah, it is a sniper gun. Sorry, I am one of those people who use one loadout and basically only one loadout, and I don't have that much information about the other guns, especially because like the lumberjacks, because I basically whenever there's a heavy gun available, I basically only use heavy watches, because I'm that kind of person, and I apologize for this, but I love the Hwacha. So we are doing the sniper mobula, the longer range judgment, with also... Oh, we now have a different mobula, also a pretty long range mobula with a slightly different loadout than the Flying Flounder, and we have the Galleon with which is pretty long range. It has a long range and a short range side, basically. It has a Hellhound, heavy carronade, and a Hwacha on one of the sides, and they have a lumberjack and a heavy flak cannon on the left side, with a Hades on the side as well as the lighter left side gun, and a flare gun at the back. This will indeed be an interesting match. We now have the lock active. This will probably be a lot of longer range battles happening, unless the Galleon gets in close with the close range side. Definitely a force to be reckoned with. We are starting the match, it seems. And we are in the match. For the first ship today, we have the Bamboozle Moth. It bamboozled me, okay? The Bamboozle Moth, piloted by Mervyn. It is a lumberjack, heavy mortar, Echidna, Hades, Manticore, Hwacha, and the Barking Dog light carronade Judgment. For the his teammate, the Flying Flounder, piloted by Captain Scrowbird. It's a mobula, it's a sniper mobula, 2 Artemises and a flak cannon, Mercury field gun, and a Whirlwind light Gatling gun. The third ship, the halfway sniper, halfway short range Galleon, is the Captain Strum, piloted by the Champion Strum, piloted by Sunstrum. It is a halfway short range, halfway long range. I like to call it shotgun, but it's the Hellhound carronade Hwacha. He's taking a lot of damage, so it's hard to say this. Heavy flak and lumberjack with a Hades on the side and a flare gun on the back. You know what? I'm just gonna watch the battle and then I'll get back to that. Red team is now getting destroyed. Bamboozled Moth has his balloon down and almost lost some of his perma. The Mobula is destroyed for some reason, even though most of these ships are long range. They went in close range. I find that really interesting. But hey, whatever floats your boat. Which is quite ironic, since it literally just didn't float their boat. It made their boat not float. And the Champion Strom is going down to the hands of the Bamboozle Moth. Bamboozle Moth, being slightly more shorter range than his Mobula friend, is able to at least fight at a bit closer ranges. Although the Skyborn has a really good position to just hammer down the Bamboozle Moth with his Gatling guns. Bamboozle Moth, however, is not taking this and is still going strong, although he has his hull armor down. He's getting rammed by the Mobula and almost going down, barely getting his hull armor up again, and he is actually surviving. Never mind. There he went down, with the teammate of the Skyborn just getting into the action and firing some long-range shots. The Skyborn is the last ship that I wasn't able to announce, which I will do now. And for the fourth ship of this match, we have the Skyborn, piloted by Hellfire. It is a semi... Well, it's pretty much... Yeah, it is kind of a semi, since because of the... no, actually, it's a same primarily sniper Mobula with a Gatling and a flare gun. So we have the Skyborn, piloted by Hellfire. It is a sniper Mobula with 2 Artemises, a Mercury field gun, a Gatling gun, and a flare gun. And here the sniper action is starting. So we will just be watching this a bit more of a distance. Bamboozle Moth getting hit, his balloon is almost down. And he has actually lost some of his guns with the armor being hammered. It's a Bamboozle Moth, okay, the balloon is getting slowly repaired. Flying Flounder has his armor on fire. Skyborn and the blue team now taking a lot more fire, with the Skyborn being the one primary target, probably because of his Mercury field gun and Artemis. Champion Strom now is the primary target of the red team, getting hammered, losing his armor and getting some perma damage. Flying Flounder lost his balloon, so he's slowly going down. The balloons are... Wow, there are actually 3 balloons down. Never mind, Flying Flounder just got his balloon up again. A lot of fire, a lot of balloons going down, and... Well, just a good old sniper battle, actually. Bamboozle Moth being really disabled now, having lost some perma damage, his armor's down, balloons on fire and getting hammered, missing 3 guns. I'm not quite sure which one is in the lead, actually, because it appears to be just switching. If Bamboozle Moth can get his balloon up, that is. Getting it up before hitting the mountains. Flying Flounder now being the misser of the balloons, or, well, the balloonless. The blue team seems to have the upper hand here, having superior positions and also more points, with the reds kind of being stuck in a corner where blue team knows exactly where they are and can adjust to that, while the red team is kind of stuck behind this rock. The red team is now gaining a lot of altitude, although the Flying Flounder just lost his balloon, so he will not be getting a lot of more altitude. Skyborn now taking down the hull armor and disabling some of the guns. It appears that he is going for a ram, or at least a Goomba Stomp, because of the balloonless Mobula he is aiming for. Skyborn now losing his hull armor, and there it goes down to the hands of the Bamboozled Moth. Now the red team, this might be the turning point for this match. If the red team is able to take out the Galleon before his teammate respawns. But it does look like that's not their intention. At least the Judgment is trying his best, with the Mobula being a bit more hesitant, and no, it's actually trying to go around, but still holding, because they know now that the teammate of the Galleon might have respawned. So the Mobula just hanging out behind here, knowing that there is probably something waiting for them, and making sure that he has a good clear shot out of it if it's trying to go around the rock and ambush his teammate. The Galleon, however, is not going back to his teammate. He is actually trying to take on both Mobula and the Judgment by himself. Although his Mobula teammate is now joining the battle. Although this does not look good for the Galleon. Hopefully they're able to regain some of their balloons and obviously everything. Although the Skyborn has done a good job of defending his teammate by doing some good damage on the red team. Although with the low permahull of the Galleon, it looks like it's a bit more hesitant to go into the battle, even though his balloon is functioning as good as ever. So he's trying to keep himself below the Mobula. Because of his guns have such high arc, he is able to get some shots in on the Mobula, even though he's so far below. And with the Flying Flounder now losing the hull armor, it goes down almost. Yeah, it goes down to the hands of Champion Strom. Let's see what's happening over here. The Judgment now is doing a longer range equivalent of a Goomba Stomp to the Mobula. Although it did actually just go down to the Galleon. Beautiful shot there by Champion Strom. Now, because of the low permahulls of both these ships, at least I think the Galleon should try to rendezvous a bit more with his teammate, although it looks like the Mobula is trying his best to go to get to the same area as his Galleon friend. Starting the longer range battle as soon as possible. A lot of fire. I predict that red team will be able to take out the blue team because of the low permahull. Now with the Galleon losing a balloon as well. And I think it will be a really close... Oh! The Flying Flounder has actually taken a lot of damage, and if the Galleon is able to take it down, they will have won. Yeah! Blue team did actually win. Congratulations to the Pomelos. Amazing match. Personally, I am a bit more of a shorter range pilot, and I like shorter range engagements. But it's really interesting to see from an outwards perspective, or an outside perspective, to see the sniper battles going on in these tournaments. So surely an interesting view. Well, that was the last match for tonight. If I am not mistaken, the Sunday community skirmish is now done. Unless I have missed something. Gambit. I will have to ask what this Gambit is. So, This is making me confused. Okay, this is the last match. I do think, however, that they changed the colors. So I will just do this. The European spelling of color there. Good old Europe. And there we have the timer start. So for the teams, we still have the same teams, I think, the Pomelos and the Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan. Only a switch of colors. So on the red side we have the Pomelos, and for the blue side we have the Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan. We got 2 minutes until lockdown. And we have the lock active. That means that we will take a look at the ships. We have the Stromolo. Oh, we have 15 seconds until start. So we have a Judgment, a Crusader, another Judgment, and a Stormbreaker. That'll be interesting to see how this will play out. Looking forward to that. And we are heading into the match. We are doing a battle on Crown Gambit for today. for today's last match, I mean. And we are in the game. The first ship of today is the Stromolo. It is a Judgment piloted by Sunstrom. It is a Lumberjack Heavy Mortar, Hades, Artemis, Hwacha, and a Barking Dog Light Carronade ship. Meaning that it does have the longer range, but also the shorter range disables with the Carronade. Making it an interesting loadout, to say the least. A long-range loadout with some shorter-range guns. The second ship is the Identify, piloted by Hellfire. It's a Crusader. It's not, I believe, it's not a mirrored. No, it has it's almost mirrored. It has two Nemesis heavy carronades on the front, a beacon flare gun on the left mid deck, and an Artemis on the right main deck. On the top deck we have two Gatling guns, making it a semi-long range, mostly long range, at least with the right side. Well, both sides to be honest. So it's a long range Crusader, at least. The third ship is the Bamboozle Moth, piloted by Mervyn. It's a Judgment. I think it has some changes to the loadouts. It now has an Artemis rocket launcher, a Mercury field gun, a heavy Hwacha, a heavy flak cannon, and a javelin light harpoon gun. That's gonna be interesting. The fourth ship of today, of today's last match, is the GFA Dosidius, captained by Captain Scrowbed. It is a Stormbreaker with a Seraph Tempest missile, mine launcher, another Tempest, and a Lumberjack heavy mortar, making it a longer range ship with a mine gun as well. Definitely interested in seeing how that plays out. Right now it appears that both teams are just waiting for the other team to engage. Since both teams have longer range guns, it does make sense that they are waiting for the other one to engage. Red team is just hanging out in their area, and blue team is... they're moving a bit more, but not really that much. They are headed into this canyon, this valley, not knowing the enemy is... okay, they appear to be going the same direction. Definitely interested. They haven't spotted each other yet, but they at least are on the correct way. They are going the correct direction. The right direction. Hashtag broken English. Identify going in headfirst with their Nemesi, trying to take out the Dosidius, but getting shot down by both ships. It was the Judgment that got the kill. Stromolo now going into the battle, getting shot a lot, getting some disables on their guns. Balloon's almost down, hull armor halfway, just burning that kerosene to try to get out of there alive. He is moving towards his own spawn, that's good. And now his teammate is respawned directly behind him, so if they are able to get a good disable on the blue team now, they might be able to turn this around, but it does not look like it, as the Crusader itself is not a really strong ship, and it needs to take out its enemies really quick. If he is focused, he is pretty much screwed. The Judgment, however, does have a bit more of well, HP with his superior hull and armor, although it looks like he is getting pretty hammered. His balloon was down, his guns are basically not functioning, burning engines. Yeah, that kind of stuff. He is getting pretty focused and, well, he doesn't have it that well right now. He is struggling a bit with what we're seeing here. And there it goes down. The environment, once again, takes another one. So yeah, you can say that another one bites the dust. It appears that the red team was struggling with his rockets hitting an invisible wall. Oh, so we had some problems with the hitboxes of the mountains. Welp. I should say that environment is OP, please nerf. Blue team taking a bit of fire, but nothing they can't handle. Still being able to get away from the line of sight. No one is spotted yet, but it's obvious that the other team knows where that both teams knows where the other team is. Basically. That made sense. English is hard, okay? I'm trying my best here. Okay, the Bamboozle Moth is still... Well, the balloon is down and the armor is taking some damage while also being on fire. But it looks like it's nothing that he can't handle on his own. Obviously, the Dosidius, the Stormbreaker, is helping out his ally, firing his Tempest through the holes of this tower. It's a crane, actually. The red team now being a bit more brave and trying to push in on the blue team. It might work, but it also might come and bite them in the ass that they weren't the patient ones that were waiting for the enemy team. Identify now. Okay. Identify went down by the hands of... Oh, the Stormbreaker actually. I thought it was the Judgment that took him down, but I think the kill actually went to the Stormbreaker. Since they are long-range ship, that doesn't really surprise me. The Stromolo now really struggling. It appears that this match will go to the Pomelos. Which is interesting, we have been seeing a lot of switches. The last match was won by the Triple Ls, where they were victorious over the Pomelos. But now the tables have turned. The Pomelos have learned. Stromolo getting up his balloon again, being really low on perma, but still hanging in there. With the Crusader now taking a lot of fire from both ships. It appears that they have decided that since this Crusader has such a weak hull, that it's just, yeah, it's an easy pick, especially since the Crusader is not that fast, and it's really an easy target if it's out in the open and you have good sniping guns, basically. So they decided that it was a good and quick and easy kill. But an interesting match for sure, still. Now, I'm not completely sure about... It does appear that the Triple L, or the Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan, is the victor of this Sunday community skirmish. So that was the last game for this evening, at least evening for me. depending on your time zones. So, my name is Sander. This was the Sunday Community Skirmish 229. And I bid you all a good night.